The 7 most shocking archaeological discoveries in Poland. That stunned scientists. Hello everyone. Poland, a country known for its long history and rich culture, has witnessed countless archaeological discoveries that have left scientists astounded. From ancient tombs to relics of lost civilizations, this country is full of mysteries and strange stories that remain unexplained. These discoveries not only change our understanding of Poland's history, but also shed light on tragic events, wars, and the difficult lives of people in the past. Among these, there are some discoveries that have shocked the scientific community, even making them question their own eyes, as they touch on mysteries and heartbreaking truths that we rarely consider. Join me as we explore the most shocking archaeological finds in Poland, filled with stories that force us to question our past and our existence, all in this video. The 1,800-year-old intact skeleton of a woman found in a cremation cemetery. In a recent excavation at a Roman cremation cemetery in Poland, archaeologists made an incredibly impressive discovery when they found 2 perfectly preserved skeletons that had been well preserved for nearly 2,000 years. This discovery has raised many questions and attracted the attention of both the scientific community and archaeology enthusiasts worldwide. Both skeletons date back to the 2nd century AD and were found in the village of Gothic, located in southeastern Poland. The first skeleton belonged to a woman about 30 years old, buried in a wooden coffin and covered by a large mound of earth, known as a kurgan. This was a fairly extravagant burial tradition, typically reserved for individuals of high social status at the time. This suggests that the woman may have been an important figure in the Roman community of that era. The second skeleton, that of a child, was so well preserved that even after 1,800 years, scientists were able to extract and analyze the oxygen levels in the child's teeth to learn about their diet. Understanding the variety or limitations of their food sources could reveal much about the child's life, such as their social class. This is a large cemetery with over 100 cremation pits, and these 2 skeletons are the only ones found to be intact. Analysis by the team of archaeologists led by Dr. Anna Lasota-Kus from the Polish Academy of Sciences showed that the composition of the soil here helped preserve the skeletons better than in other regions. Normally, with the environmental conditions of the 2nd century AD, skeletons buried in wooden coffins would not be preserved so well. Currently, archaeologists are continuing to analyze these skeletons in the lab, hoping to learn more about the origins of these individuals, whether they were native to the area or migrated from distant lands. The 50 ancient tombs and many valuable jewelry pieces. Recently, a remarkable archaeological discovery made waves in the research community and among history enthusiasts when archaeologists in Poland uncovered a large Gothic cemetery filled with silver jewelry dating back to the 4th century. This discovery was made by Olaf Popkiewicz, a popular YouTube content creator specializing in archaeological videos, who stumbled upon it while walking along the Wday River, located in the protected Wday Landscape Park in northern central Poland. During his visit, he discovered 2 silver necklaces, 2 silver brooches, and beads that were part of a 3rd necklace. Popkiewicz immediately alerted a team of archaeologists to excavate the area. The archaeologists worked for 3 weeks, excavating more than 2,700 square feet of the cemetery and uncovered 50 Gothic-style graves. Among the finds were a rich collection of burial artifacts, including ceramic items, brooches, amber beads, and especially finely crafted jewelry decorated with snake motifs, a common detail in Gothic culture. However, what surprised the archaeologists even more was that this excavation area could be just a small part of a much larger ancient cemetery, possibly extending over 2.5 acres. This provides vivid evidence of the presence of the Goths in this region during the 4th century. Speaking of the Goths, one can't help but think of one of Europe's great tribes. According to historical records, the Goths migrated from Scandinavia and settled in various parts of Europe from the 1st century AD. They are famously known for their sack of Rome in 410 AD. Later, they split into 2 major branches, the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths, establishing powerful kingdoms in Iberia and Italy. However, these kingdoms didn't last long, as the Goths were defeated by the Moors in 711 AD. Recent studies show that the Goths in Roman period Poland were actually skilled jewelers, with their jewelry not only being aesthetically pleasing, but also holding deep historical significance. Surely, with each new discovery, we gain more valuable insights into the lives and culture of the Goths, a people who left a profound mark on European history. What do you think about these discoveries? The traces of Gothic culture have helped us better understand the past and the fascinating stories from ancient times. Please share your thoughts with us by leaving a comment below. The skeleton of a 6,005 feet tall medieval woman. In the book New Developments in the Field of Bioarchaeology and Healthcare by Magda Mačák, an astonishing discovery in archaeology is revealed. The story of a medieval woman's skeleton, measuring over 6.5 feet tall, discovered on Ostrów Lednicki Island in Poland in 1977. This skeleton stands out not only due to its remarkable height compared to the average individual of the time, but also because of signs that suggest the woman lived a short and painful life due to illness. After analyzing the skeleton, researchers found that she suffered from acromegaly, a rare disease caused by the overproduction of growth hormone by the pituitary gland, leading to abnormal bone growth. This condition caused her skull to grow unusually large, and at the time, it was considered one of the largest skulls ever excavated. Additionally, her spine showed signs of joint degeneration, likely a result of her height and excessive body weight. These signs indicate that, although she had an outstanding physical appearance, the physical abnormalities were a significant burden on her health. Furthermore, the skeleton revealed that she had experienced several painful injuries, including broken arms and legs and pneumonia, one of the common illnesses in medieval society. Another unique detail was her burial posture. While other graves in the cemetery had their heads facing west, this woman's face was turned to the east. Her arms were also bent, unlike the usual practice of stretching the arms out in other burial rituals. These differences suggest a distinct burial practice, which may reflect her social status. Archaeologists hypothesize that she belonged to a lower social class due to the lack of burial goods and the unusual burial ritual. Magda Mačák made a profound observation in her book. All details such as the unusual burial orientation and the absence of burial goods suggest that this woman belonged to a lower social class. We know that speculating about the emotional state of the deceased based solely on remaining bones may be inaccurate. However, based on modern clinical medical knowledge, we believe that at times, the woman may have felt emotions such as irritability, anxiety, confusion, sadness, and anger. This discovery not only sheds light on the difficult life of a medieval woman, but also offers a new perspective on how diseases impacted people's lives and social status in the past. The vampire child in a Polish cemetery. In August 2023, in the village of Pień, Poland, archaeologists discovered a 17th century grave containing the remains of a child. However, what made this grave particularly remarkable wasn't the location or the child's age, but the unusual burial posture and the strange rituals surrounding it. The child was buried face down, with its legs shackled by an iron chain, leading archaeologists to hypothesize that the child might have been considered a vampire. The burial position and the chain could have been used to prevent the child from rising from the grave to take revenge on the villagers, much like the vampire legends we still hear about today. The skeleton of the child, identified as being between 5 and 7 years old, was discovered. This is not the only find at this location. In 2022, archaeologists had also discovered the remains of a woman believed to be a vampire, buried with a lock attached to her big toe and a sickle placed across her neck, thought to be intended to prevent her from rising from the dead. These discoveries have illuminated an important aspect of burial practices from that period, revealing a special tradition connected to beliefs in vampires and fear stemming from folklore. Professor Dariusz Poliński, the head of the excavation, stated that the two graves were located just 6.5 feet apart in a special cemetery area, which researchers believe was used to bury those who were outcasts, individuals who were not accepted in Christian cemeteries. These graves often involved unusual burial methods, with many vampire-slaying tactics applied, such as triangle-shaped locks attached to the feet of the deceased, along with signs that the graves had been disturbed or tampered with after the initial burial. The question arises, why were these people treated this way? Professor Poliński explained that they may have exhibited strange behaviors while alive that caused fear among others. Alternatively, they might have suffered from an illness that made their appearance unusual, leading people to believe they could be vampires. People in the 17th century often feared unbaptized children or those who drowned. believing they could return from the dead to harm the living. The vampire burial practice was not only common in Poland, but also widespread across Europe from the 14th century. According to Matteo Borini, a forensic anthropologist at Liverpool John Moores University, people in ancient times often associated unexplained deaths with the appearance of vampires. They believed that these vampires would relentlessly hunt and kill family members, then move on to killing neighbors and villagers, similar to the way infectious diseases spread through communities. This truly makes us reflect on the strange beliefs and practices of the past, doesn't it? Such discoveries not only help us understand burial history, but also highlight the fear and superstitions that people held in the past. Do you think the people of the past truly believed in vampires, or were these simply explanations for phenomena they couldn't understand? 4,800-year-old burial site reveals a terrifying secret. A prehistoric burial site has revealed a brutal massacre of women and children from a large family in Poland 4,800 years ago. This is the theory put forward by researchers after analyzing the remains of a group of 15 prehistoric individuals discovered near the village of Kozice, a town in Prozowicz County in southern Poland. The burial site, which contained no adult male bones, led experts to conclude that the women and children in the grave were likely murdered while the men were away. It is believed that the men of the family returned from a trip, possibly a hunting expedition, to find their family slaughtered by a group of hostile opponents. The surviving warriors carefully rearranged the remains of their loved ones, positioning the mothers as if they were cradling their children, along with jewelry and pets. Earlier excavations in 2011 uncovered a mass grave, with broken bones and skulls that had been cut, showing they suffered a painful and horrific death. Analysis of the bones revealed that all the individuals came from related families living around 2800 BCE. 4 of the women were buried with their children, and among the men in the pit, 4 were half-brothers. One middle-aged woman was buried next to her 2 young sons, while a mother, approximately 30 to 35 years old, was laid to rest with her teenage daughter and 5-year-old son. It remains unclear why so many men were missing from the grave, but it is speculated that a large group may have been out hunting or working the fields. Many goods were also found at the site, and the array of items suggests that these people belonged to the globular amphora culture. Genetic analysis of the remains reveals that these individuals were farmers, and a study published in the multidisciplinary Journal of the National Academy of Sciences suggests that the corded ware people could be blamed for this horrific act. These populations shared common DNA, but the corded ware culture of the time was rapidly expanding across Europe, which could have led to a massacre by neighboring groups. The corded ware people are thought to have coexisted and integrated with the Yamnaya culture, which was considered one of the most violent groups of the time. The Yamnaya culture emerged around 3300 to 2600 BCE on the European steppe and quickly spread across the continent, destroying cultures and blending with others. Ancient DNA shows that these migrants were well-nourished, tall, and muscular. Some archaeologists also believe that the warrior tribes included many elite horse riders. It seems they primarily survived on meat and dairy products, which made them stronger and more robust. So, who were the globular amphora people? The globular amphora people lived between 3400 and 2800 BCE in Central Europe. They coexisted with the corded ware and Yamnaya people, and were primarily farmers, trading livestock, particularly pigs. Researchers have found evidence suggesting their settlements were small, crude, and temporary. Their burial customs were also notable, with large burial pits and the inclusion of animal bones and offerings with the dead. They shared DNA with the rapidly expanding corded ware culture and were later integrated into the Yamnaya culture after being invaded by the Yamnaya people from the west, who ruthlessly swept across the continent. Some believe this invasion led to the massacre of all the men, with women being raped to quickly reproduce and continue the Yamnaya bloodline. Such aggressive and brutal acts would have certainly sparked significant outrage in the Stone Age society, and the people likely needed to take action to suppress the growing Yamnaya power. Evidence of a war against the Yamnaya Empire has been discovered at an archaeological site in Germany called Uhlau. There, graves were found containing a large number of women and children. Strontium isotope analysis of adult teeth showed that they were not local to the area and had likely grown up elsewhere before migrating, likely women captured by the Yamnaya. Of the 13 bodies found at the site, 5 showed signs of injury, which may have contributed to their deaths. Experts suggest this could be evidence that they were ambushed and massacred by rival tribes in a revenge attack. The men of the tribe likely left the site to tend to livestock when the raid occurred, leaving the women and children defenseless. Ulao stands as an example of revenge by the local population, but experts also caution that there are some unusual aspects to the event, and many more mysteries are likely to be revealed in the future. The mysterious figure in the tomb in Poland. During an archaeological survey near the village of Bodzia, northwest of Warsaw, Poland, in preparation for a highway construction project, researchers accidentally discovered a cemetery dating back to the late 10th to early 11th century. Among the graves, the research team paid special attention to a mysterious tomb containing the skeleton of a young warrior, about 20 years old, with a sword placed beside him. Several signs, such as a broken jaw and a shattered skull, indicate that this man suffered a violent death. Surprisingly, right next to him was the skeleton of a 20-year-old woman who also endured a painful death. Andrzej Buko, head of the Institute of Archaeology and Ethnology at the Polish Academy of Sciences, stated, "The artifacts in the tomb suggest that he was connected to one of the first Slavic kings." Researchers discovered a silver amulet resembling a bird, likely an eagle, with outstretched wings, the meaning of which remains a mystery. Additionally, they found a silver necklace, crystal stones, and a carnelian bead designed in the classic Slavic style, confirming the status and wealth of the tomb's owner. Notably, engravings on a bronze belt suggest that the wearer was a close ally or possibly a relative of Sviatopolk. Sviatopolk was a member of the Kievan Rus dynasty, the first East Slavic state, located in present-day eastern Poland. He ascended to the throne in the early 11th century. To consolidate power, he killed his brothers. It is possible that this young warrior was a senior member of Sviatopolk's military. There is even a chance that he could have been Sviatopolk's son. In other graves, the team also discovered various pieces of jewelry belonging to medieval East European women. Buko and his colleagues believe the men buried here may have been Viking warriors tasked with protecting a medieval prince. At this time, Viking warriors played an important role in Eastern European society. They protected Byzantine emperors in Constantinople. However, these remain only preliminary hypotheses, and researchers have yet to offer any further information about these findings. A half-million-year-old treasure from another human species. The most valuable artifacts of another human species, along with many extinct animal bones, were unearthed from the Tunel Wielki cave in Poland in 2018. Recently, researchers have uncovered the true value of these findings. Initially, the rich collection of artifacts, which included approximately 40 pieces of flint, both food processing tools and byproducts of flint toolmaking, as well as numerous animal bones from various species, were estimated to be around 40,000 years old. However, a new study led by Dr. Małgorzata Kot from the Department of Archaeology at the University of Warsaw has revealed that the treasure is actually between 440,000 and 550,000 years old. This finding has significant implications. Firstly, the astonishing age of these artifacts confirms that the diverse collection of animal remains, including those of a wolf, a cave bear, and a cave lion, belong to ancient, now extinct ancestors of these species. Most of the animal bones appear to be naturally occurring rather than processed, despite being found near flint tools, leading scientists to believe that these animals simply lived at the same time as the cave's human occupants and were inadvertently trapped in a layer of sediment. Secondly, these remains could not belong to modern humans. Homo sapiens have only existed on Earth for a little more than 300,000 years. Thus, the finely crafted flint tools, the most valuable items of these ancient cave dwellers, are now regarded as priceless relics left behind by an extinct human species. It remains unclear who they were and which species they belonged to. Scientists believe they were likely Homo heidelbergensis, a species within the Homo genus that is closely related to both modern humans and Neanderthals in Europe. The clearest evidence of their existence has been dated to between 600,000 and 400,000 years ago. As a result, the findings in the Tunel Wielki cave have become the oldest human remains ever discovered in Poland, promising numerous future studies in anthropology and paleobiology. As you can see, each story from ancient tombs, prehistoric sites, to the ruins of lost civilizations offers valuable lessons. Poland, with these remarkable discoveries, continues to establish itself as an incredible treasure trove of archaeological heritage, opening up opportunities for us to gain a deeper understanding of what has happened in human history. What do you think about these fascinating archaeological discoveries today? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to give the channel a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And now, goodbye and see you next time.